All right. I was walking in the yard a while ago. I was looking down here on the river and I seen a bunch of big suckers shoaling down here, spawning. So I've got me a little rig in here with some big little grab hooks on here. Got one there, and I got one further down the line, right there. Sinkers molded into the hooks. I'm gonna go down here and try to snag one of these rascals. They're pretty big. They go anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds probably. They're white suckers. I think I saw a red horse or two, I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to sneak up on them. And if you're watching this video, I got one, okay? Because if I didn't get one, I would be showing this video. I just walked away defeated. Now what I've got to do is move in here kind of quietly. They're shoaling right down there, just past that little gravel bar. So I got to go down these steps here we got here on the river, and I'm going to sneak up on them best I can and try to throw my grab hook well on the other side of them, bring it up toward them, and see if I can get one of these rascals. I'm going to take it and scan it and cook it. Why not? So I'm going to go out here real quietly and see if I can. Again, I don't want to spook them. They are a spookable little lot, but they're pretty active in their spawning right now, so maybe they'll be kind of docile, focused on what they're doing. So I'm easing in here real slowly. Alright. I'll stand here for just a minute so I can figure out where they're at exactly. Okay, I'm going to put this camera on my head. Put this camera on my head. So it might be a little shaky. Could have turned it off while I'd done this, I guess. I can edit it out, who cares? Okay, I see him out there. I see the big devils. There's a big one right there too. Throw away on the other side of them, bring it up to them, hopefully. Nope. They're a little skittish. They're a little skittish. Oh, I got one. I got a good one. Good Lord, he's fighting. Oh, he got off. Cotton picker. Back at it again. I got some big ones out here. Missed them. I can see them out there. Oh, come on. Man. How did I knock a scale off of that one there without getting him? I don't know. Man, they got a tough. Them scales are tough, tough, tough. Still at it. All right, I got some big suckers out here. I'm gonna try to get one this time for sure. They've been eluding me here for a couple of days, and things always happen when you're trying to snag suckers. You run into all kinds of problems. And I have ran into problems here like you wouldn't believe. And I just ran into one right there. I threw it out there and got it hung up. All right, I finally connected. Finally connected with one of these rascals. He's a fighter too. That's what I was trying to catch up a good one. That's a pretty good sucker right there. Got him right in the top of the back. He's a good one though. Come on, big boy. Man, I have struggled and struggled trying to snag one of these. Got him right in that top dorsal fin. Oh. That's a big sucker right there now. That's a big one. Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere. I cut him right there in that dorsal. Good catch. He's probably 4 pounds. That's a big, big white sucker right there. Now, I'm going to take him, clean him, and we're going to cook him. Show you how to cook these rascals. Good sucker right there, right by the house there. It's a female full of eggs. She is dripping eggs like crazy on the ground here. You can see there, that yellow eggs, bunches of eggs. Okay, well, like I say, about a 4 pound sucker. The big one. Gonna make a couple of good fillets on him. But I'll show you how to cook them. You got to cook them a little bit different you do most fish. All right, I am going to scale this sucker. He weighed exactly 5 pounds, which is pretty big for a sucker, and a big female. So I'm going to take the scales off of her, and then I'm going to fillet it, and then I'm going to score it, which is very important when you're eating suckers, because suckers are a bony fish, and you can't eat them like you would a lot of fish. So what I'm going to do is I got a scaler here, and I'm going to take the scales off. It's quite an ordeal to do that. Killed him, but he's still moving a little bit for some reason. He likes to flop around. I'd flop too if take the scales off me. I'm just doing this, scales flying everywhere. It's kind of a nasty little job. Okay, get them all off. I'm not taking the skin off, just the scales, big scales. All these big scales got to come off. Can't eat the scales. There's nothing there to eat. Okay, that's pretty clean right there. Pretty clean. Again, like I say, for a sucker, he's a pretty big sucker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go in here, and I'm going to take this fillet off. I'm going to go into the spine, go down it just like you would fillet any kind of a fish, just like that. I'm going to come at the backbone. I'm going to start peeling this fillet off of this fish, and you'll see here, a sucker is very clean meat. That's why a lot of people like them. A lot of people like suckers. A lot of people don't understand the bone situation, so we're going to overcome that. I'm leaving the ribs in there. I'm not going to take them rib bone, but as I'm doing this, I can feel bones all through this fillet right here. I can feel bones. I can feel bones all through this fillet here with my hand, and I'm just taking this fillet off of here. I'll get the other fillet here in just a minute, but I won't necessarily do that. I'm just getting this off here so you can see it. Now there it is. Now you got this big old sucker fillet. It probably weighs close to a pound right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score it now. Now this is a pretty big piece of fish. So what I'll do is I'll score it, but then I'm gonna cut it into smaller, manageable chunks to eat. Okay. All right. Here's how you score it. I'm going to go in about a 3/16 of an inch. I'm just going to go to the skin. I'm not going to cut into the skin. You do not want to cut into the skin. As I'm doing this, I feel I'm cutting through little bones. these little bones have got to be cooked up. So as I'm cutting down in here, again, I'm not cutting the skin. I might cut a little bit in areas, but I try not to cut it because I don't want to cut the skin. The skin is what's going to hold the pieces together. All right, keep going here. You can hear that crunching sound. That is bones. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting this. Look at that. See? I'm cutting these I'm not slicing all the way through. I'm keeping the skin intact. But I'm cutting this in sections like this and leaving that. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to batter that down in there. And I'm going to fry it hot. And what happens is the grease gets in there. It cooks all these little bones up. So then you can just eat this fish like candy because the bones will be dissolved. They'll be cooked up into nothingness. And that's about the size I'll cook right there. That is a great piece of sucker right there. And that will be so good eating. And I'll show you here in a little bit. We'll fry them up and then eat them. And you're going to get to experience, at least by sight, what these taste like. It's still recording. All right. All right. Well, I'll see you at the cooking table. And in fact, it'll be just like right now. All right, yeah, instantly we're at the skinning table. Now I have these. Let me show that down here. I have these fillets in a gallon Ziploc bag. I put a little milk in there. Milk seems to hold and clean your batter just a little bit better than water. So I like to put a little milk in there. I'm putting this fish in this. Again, I just use Zatarain's. I cook all kinds of stuff with this Zatarain's. Chicken, fish. I'm gonna shake this up really good because I want that batter to get in those crevices where I stored it. All them cracks and crevices, I gotta have plenty of batter in there. My grease is ready, so I gotta get going here. Okay. I gotta drop some fish in there to cool that grease down real quick. Oh yeah, see that's covered good. Oh yeah, got down in those crevices, which is what I really wanted bad. All right, gotta drop my grease in there. I might shut it down here just a little bit because it's gonna cook really fast, which I want it to cook hot. I mean, I definitely want it to cook hot. I just don't want it to cook so fast that my fish gets done on the outside but not on the inside, especially the sucker. I've got to have this, this sucker has got to be done on the inside in order to cook all them little bitty bones. So I got my temperature. It was up there a little over 350, which is stretching it. And now it's starting to come down, which is what I want. Let that cook for a minute. I'm going to stir it here in just a second. Turn my heat down just a fuzz. Okay. And my temperature's holding. It's coming down. It's about 360 right now, which is okay. Now, as you're doing fish, as I told you before in a previous video, if you're watching any of my videos, stir this fish just a little bit after it's been in there about a minute or less. You stir it just enough that it's not sticking to each other, okay? Okay. Now, I'm done with that. I still got good Zatarain's batter in there, which will work for another fish fry. I'm using the same grease. I have cooked fish and big red mushrooms in the same grease. And by the way, we ate those red mushrooms that was cooked in this fish oil, or fish grease that we had cooked fish in. Could not taste fish. And I told you before, if you watched none of my videos, that fish flavor, flavor in the grease does not transfer to other things you cook. And so that mushrooms that we ate, the big red mushrooms, just taste like mushrooms. You didn't taste any fish in there at all. So this is cooking. It's cooking really good. I see some pieces starting to float already, which is telling me it's getting close to being done. But I'm going to let it cook. Now my temperature has dropped down to about 330, which is a really good temperature. I don't like it to see it go below 300. It'll make your fish and whatever you're cooking, it'll make it really kind of greasy, and it just starts to soak up grease. You don't want that. So if it'll hold right there about 330, 340. And then my heat's on. It's gonna start climbing back to 350. Time it does that, it's gonna be done. It's about done already, but just give us a second here. I'm gonna start and look at it and see what it looks like over here. Oh, see that color? See how it's good? Them crevices are opened up. That's good. That's cooking down in there. That's cooking all them little bitty bones. And each one of them pieces have, I don't know, maybe hundreds of bones. They're little teeny weeny bones. They're just irritating. You just don't want to eat them. So hopefully we'll get all the bones out of there. By the way, I'm still wearing my hip boots. You can just point it down this way. I'm still wearing my hip boots. That tells you how fresh this fish is. I just caught it 20 minutes ago and brought it up here, scaled it, scored it, flayed it and scored it, washed it off real good, got my stuff together, and we're here cooking it. This fish is so fresh, it's ridiculous, all right? Yeah. So it's all floating now, which tells me it is probably done. I'm just gonna let it cook just a second longer, only because I'm just cooking up the bones now. The meat is done, but now we're just finishing up cooking the bones. And I'm gonna peel this off of here just shortly, but I'm gonna give it just a short minute here, and then we're done. And it will be ready to eat. And my wife's running the video there, but she's gonna try this with me. We're gonna eat this sucker together. And we know it's good. We've eaten it before, but sometimes you just kind of like to try fish again just to see if it was good as you thought it was. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna eat this and see if it's good as we thought it was, all right? All right, let's see here. And you peel that up, and you see down in the crevices, it's bubbling down inside there. When I put it down, you see it bubbling down in crevices. That is cooking down in there. It's cooking all them bones, and it is looking good. Now it's time to pull them out. They've been cooking for a while. I like to make sure they're done. I can assure you this fish is done now. I want all them bones done too. Don't want to eat no bones. We can help it. That's some big old pieces of fish too. Big pieces. That sucker weighed 5 pounds. That's a pretty big sucker. A lot of times you snagging suckers, you catch them weighing a pound and a half, maybe 2.5 pounds, something like that. But he weighed 5 pounds for all the money. All right, we're going to change areas here, and we're going to go try this as soon as it cools down a little bit. So we'll see you at the eating table. Well, just like that, we're here at the eating table. And there is a piece of sucker right there. You see how I scored it? Now she's peeling it off, leaving the skin there. Remember I left the skin on there? Skin's kind of fishy. You don't want the skin. There's just a good piece of fish right there. Good color to the meat. No bones. And the taste test is happening right now. Oh boy. I'm nervous as I can be. Is it good, Maul?
It's good.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
See that? That grease got down there and cooked all them bones up. If you don't score them, if you score them too thick, you really have to cook a long time because the bones don't get done. But if you score them just not over, like I say, about 3/16, something like that, the bones will cook. Then you can just eat that and you can feed it to kids or whatever. Okay? There's a good looking piece right there. See that? Good, good, good fish. It's a clean looking fish too as far as its color goes, and it's very, very tasty. All right, we're going to finish. We're going to sit here and look at the river, and we're making this our supper, aren't we? Maul.
Yep.
Her name is Sandy. And that river right there you see is a tributary to Stockton Lake here in Missouri. Okay, it's a tributary. It's always full of fish in the summer and the spring, and we'll be catching lots more fish and trot lining, flatheads, all kinds of catfish. Throughout the summer, we're going to put them on YouTube just for fun. You can like, you can subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, I don't care. Just glad you watched. We will see you later.